Have you ever not like brought up an interest or like expressed your interest in something to try and like affirm your gender better in a space?
Such as?
Like I like sports,
Right.
kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of this because I'm wearing a little like Charlotte Hornets shirt right now, and I thought I never really like when people start talking about particularly basketball. I'll talk about basketball with them, and if I was determined to appear as conventionally feminine as possible, I would avoid doing that. But I don't because I don't really care. Because I'm very confident in my femininity, and like, but I could understand why a lot of people, like a trans femme who like basketball, for example, would be like, well, I'm not going to bring that up because it might mess with the way that people perceive me.
Well, it also makes me think of certain individuals who are girls and really like cars.
Yeah.
As well as
car girls.
Again, when you with another friend of ours will quote Drake back and forth to each other, I think is also not usually a girly thing, but there's nothing wrong with that. We contain multitudes. But
yeah, obviously I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm
but
just
I will
saying...
say that like I do certain things presentation wise that like I sometimes will avoid carrying a purse, or maybe sometimes I won't wear like too much jewelry or makeup, but it's mostly like physical presentation things.
Yeah.
In terms of interests though, I don't know, a lot of my interests are kind of affirming, like being a gamer. I
feel like you kind of have trans feminine interests.
Me?
Like you like dance
Gaming?
and hyperpop music, and like I would say there aren't a whole ton of conventionally feminine interests you have that you would be running away from in the first place.
Maybe that's why I like trans girls so much.
Maybe that's why you're such a chaser. Yeah, you understand them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's time to talk about me being a chaser.
We could do an entire episode on you being a chaser, to be honest. I mean, I would argue that in its totality, this podcast is a bulk of evidence of you being a huge chaser.
Who's putting me on trial?
Episode 10, The Trial of Lex. Welcome to Brain Frot, episode 3 for you guys. I guess it's kind of like episode 5 for us. We tried twice the other night to record episodes. We tried to be ahead on our schedule, actually. I'm pretty sure this episode's going to come out late. And we really did make an honest to God attempt to get it out on time. But the problem was we were both pretty high on ketamine when we recorded them, and they're completely fucking unlistenable.
Mm-hmm. I think they're pretty, maybe they're fun to listen to. I haven't played it back.
Yeah, if we ever have a Patreon, I guess those will go up to, bonus subscribers is the idea that everybody seems to want for the lost ketamine episodes. I don't want to put you on blast, but, it was unlistenable. I did listen to it.
Yeah, I know. I was trying really hard to keep up with you, too. I was trying to interject.
Interject you did. Quite frequently, actually.
I was just trying to stay engaged. I thought that if I went too long without speaking, I would have become lost in the sauce.
Well, if the podcast ever gets popular enough that we have something like a Patreon, then that's easy. That's a slam dunk.
This episode was sponsored by Ketamine Therapy Clinic.
Dude, I wish. I'm self-administering ketamine therapy regularly.
Self-medication.
Yeah, self-medication.
I believe is actually a topic we're going to discuss today.
So, should we just go ahead and call this the ketamine episode?
Well, we're sober right now.
You're sober right now.
You're not sober right now?
Right this very second, this very moment, yes, I am sober.
What
Completely.
about in 10 minutes?
I don't have any drugs My drugs are over there by you on the other side of the room, so...
You make it sound like you've taken something.
I haven't taken anything.
So why...
When you said I'm sober right now, I
Oh.
thought you were talking about because you're doing a sober month
right.
challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it because I love drugs.
Yeah, that's something else I was going to talk about, but I did mean in this very moment.
Okay, right now we're both sober because we learned last time we tried to record the podcast that doing it on K is a bad idea.
Okay.
Let's start with your sober month. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so basically it's like dry January but on hard mode for really no reason other than me and my friends, I think, are just trying to see who has the most willpower. And we've also coordinated at a kind of awkward range of dates due to we wanted to get fucked up in San Francisco and then become sober after that. So we're doing it from like the middle of January to the middle of February, just in time to get fucked up again for Valentine's Day. But we're basically going, no drinking, no weed, no inhalants. I don't know. None of us really smoke nicotine or tobacco, but I'm sure that would be included. Just no substances.
It's no everything. Like, it's you guys get caffeine, and that's it.
Yeah, I like caffeine.
You guys aren't even doing poppers.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And that's how I think you're going to break.
I'm only going to break that way because you're going to put them in my nose.
I'm not going to, I'm not going to spike you with poppers, but I think in the heat of the moment, if someone were to offer you poppers, I think you're going to accept them.
That's only because I will have forgotten that it's sober month.
Exactly.
But that's why I told you earlier I'm going to put the straight edge X on my hands to remind myself to be strong.
So, you and your friends are doing this. There's some money on the line, right?
Allegedly, if one of us breaks, we're supposed to pay out $100 distributed amongst the winners at the conclusion of the challenge. I don't know, and this is we're just doing honor code, when you lose, you just tell everybody. I don't really know how effective that's going to be or if anyone's really going to pay out money, but it's kind of just to raise the stakes,
Yeah. So this is the Seinfeld episode, The Challenge.
Right.
Basically, but instead of trying not to jerk off, you're going sober. And so you're doing it for a month, and it's not about who can be sober the longest. Because once the month is over, whoever is left sober, they all win, and everyone just starts drinking again.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of mentioned this, but there's kind of no incentive if everyone wins. If everyone wins, no one gets any money because no one will have paid $100.
The incentive then is sabotage. The incentive
That's
is
what I was trying to get at, is there is an incentive to
deliberately
manipulate
sabotage
others.
and manipulate the other people who are doing this into caving.
But that's
for
not
your
really
own
in the
financial
spirit
gain.
of the challenge.
The challenge has no spirit. You're pioneering new ground.
The spirit is supposed to be wellness. I don't think the others are really thinking of it that way. They're thinking of it more as a true willpower, true challenge, but I mean...
The true challenge would be last man standing. Sober until...
For, that could go for years.
Oh, yeah. What if you just became sober?
I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to do it for a month. That's why I'm not doing this shit.
If you kind of think about it, it's what's even the point of doing it if we all know we're going to get fucked up after? But really, then you go back to, the point is willpower. It's just a fun little challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being snooty and bitchy about it, but it is
It's because you couldn't do it.
No, hell no.
Yeah, but you know that.
I like substance. I mean, even if you let me have poppers, I don't think I could do it because I'm kind of starting to get addicted to ketamine.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm faced with I feel like I can't even go to any outings really. And I mean, this is, I guess, a critique of just bar culture and queer hangouts. Now I'm getting into the discourse of like, why are there no sober queer hangouts?
I can't tell. I mean, I know why I wouldn't go to a sober queer hangout.
Yeah,
A friend of ours went to a sober queer New Year's.
What are you guys doing? Playing Smash Bros?
Are you asking me? I don't know. I wasn't there.
I'm saying theoretically, if I were to go to a queer sober hangout, like, we're playing Smash?
Perhaps, yeah. Watching something, maybe.
Now that I think about it, it's kind of lame.
Oh, extremely, yeah. That's what I was saying. That's why I'm not doing the sober challenge.
Well, I personally have become really into, like, wellness starting this year. And I know that my underlying reason for trying sober month is because, like, I want to try and be productive and, like, mentally well and not encumbered by the haze of drug brain fog. But I think that... But I was listening to this... So since I've been really into wellness, I was seeking out, like, wellness podcasts, and I listened to this new one that had an episode about dry January, and I listened to it, and they were like interviewing someone who sounded like a tech bro in like a Brooklyn completely sober speakeasy, where they call their drinks elixirs rather than mocktails.
Right, yeah.
They...
I know the type of place.
It was really hard to listen to, and it I feel like it maybe affirmed my belief that like 100% sober is not the way to go, because they sounded so lame.
Well, I'm not going to take shots at sober people.
It's okay to be sober.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are sober by personality, necessity, or situational necessity all the time. So, like, I get it as a tool. The reason that I've come at it with the sober critique for this specific event that you and your friends are doing is that none of you have a substance abuse problem. None of you are abusing substances regularly or in a way that is particularly harmful for you. And when I ask anyone in your friend group, no one can tell me why they're doing this for any other reason than everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a challenge.
Okay, so this was sort of a vessel to get into the primary point of contention for this episode 3, and that is just horse tranquilizer, I guess.
Yeah,
I feel like we're
benefits.
We're touching on sort of touchstones of trans culture among young people, and that's a big one. We all like K. I don't think we're going to solve anything. I just think we're going to talk about our experiences with it. Because much like talking about sort of your indulgence into like play parties in the first episode, you're relatively new to ketamine.
Yeah, just because everyone, all the girls I'm into are doing it.
I'm not chastising you for being into ketamine.
I know.
Certainly, would have no pedestal to.
It's fun.
Yeah, but it's your perspective on it as someone who went through their entire youth and transitioned into adulthood, substance-wise, probably only smoking weed and taking edibles.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I didn't even really smoke weed or take edibles that much in high school or college because I was in states where it was illegal, and I'm too socially awkward to talk to drug dealers. So I only became a stoner once I moved to California. Now I like take edibles and vape and smoke weed all the time, and I'm really into weed, and I know that you're not. And I do like being on ketamine, but I think it feels different for me than for you, and probably feels different for everyone.
Why do you say you think it feels different?
Well, because when I describe things that are happening to me on K, you're like, I've never experienced that before.
So your first time ever on K was a couple months ago at the Slater and the Lozuai concert, right?
The natural place to do it, yeah.
Of course, that's like the perfect environment. Do you want to talk a little bit about that experience and your first time on K?
Well, I mean, yeah, after we had done the bump, we waded back into the crowd, and after maybe, once it kicks in, after like 10 or 15 minutes, I start feeling really overwhelmed, like sensory overload, just because I'm in a really crowded, loud space, and now, like, my body is experiencing a high that it's never felt before. Like, I kind of started getting the wide fish eye lens that you get when you're high.
Yeah.
So that started happening, and then I looked at my hand, and it didn't feel attached to my body. So then I felt really scared, and I took you, and I was like, we got to get out of here. So it felt like I was walking miles to a quiet part of the bar, and I just sat down on the floor as the peak of the high came over me. And I mean, it was a pretty average small bump, I think, that I took. I just hadn't experienced that before. And I kept saying, and then we went outside at some point, and I kept saying, like, oh, this shit's just like Cyberpunk. So, because I could see, like, the UI and stuff, and, like, like, TikTok filters, and, like, it was, like, kind of when you turn the mouse sensitivity way up in a video game. So, you didn't know what I was talking about.
No, I mean, I still don't know what you're talking about, but, yeah, I was trying my best to, just keep you upright and calm and not nauseous.
Oh yeah, I kept spitting for some reason.
You were spitting a lot, which I thought was strange and funny. I mean, Kay does have that like lightly kind of acidic drizzle in the back of your throat, especially when you're doing
I think that's what
it.
made me nauseous too.
So I would say, having been around you a couple of successive times on K, that you've either gotten a lot better at handling it, or your body just, it doesn't get you high in the same way, because there's been a more euphoric wooziness every other time we've done K together.
Yeah, I think it's just because the first time it was so unfamiliar with me that I had a negative reaction to not knowing what was going on with my body, but every time after that has, been really, like, silly and euphoric, and I just get really, I think I get pretty talkative, but I like can't move that much. You always say that you can't feel your arms. That doesn't happen to me. Like, I don't think things really go well. I think things do go numb for me, but like in a different context.
Do you want to talk about that?
In a sexual context, yeah.
Quickly to explain, obviously drugs affect everyone differently. I think I have, like, nerve issues, or just misaligned, strangely aligned, unconventional central nervous system in my body, because I experience a myriad of strange, different nerve things. Like, I'm not ticklish at all anywhere. I know that's very strange. I think that probably has something to do with the fact that routinely ketamine makes my arms go numb. And, like, now you've seen it, it doesn't make them go tingly. It makes them go, I cannot feel when you tap me on my arm. They are numb.
Mm-hmm.
And that was scary a couple times to learn. I'm used to it now. Like, I can anticipate it. And if anything, I can kind of use it as a barometer of how high I am and how close I am to coming down. It's how much I can feel my arms. But I've done K with a lot of people in my life, and I've never met anyone else who has that exact reaction to it.
Yeah. For me, I always know when I'm coming up and coming down, just because of, it affects my balance first, my vestibular system. I get really off balance. When I'm most high, I feel like I can't really look at anybody's face because it's scary. I remember the first time we got high, I was like, oh, we should watch the Dracula Flow video. But then I tried to pull him up, and it would, like, flashbang me. I was like, we can't look at that right now. And, like, I can't I can't get up and move. I'm, like, too scared of changing the environment. And, like, if I look at myself on my phone and take a picture of myself, I look dead in the eyes.
Something tells me, like, obviously drugs affect everyone differently, but I feel like that's just coming from your own, like, internalized
I guess it's
anxiety.
psychological.
Yeah, like, I don't know. To me, K is, like, a very, very woozy but very blissful, very euphoric experience. Like, I find that if and when there are things that are worrying me, sort of overarching things, tripping on K makes me forget about them and not care about them, and be able to find the brightness and the euphoria in the moment, and the surreal experience of being high on K. Like, it doesn't make me I'm never scared or anything. Like, if anything, it quells those inhibitions.
Yeah, it makes you really just, like, accepting of everything going on and what's around you. And that's probably why it's used therapeutically.
Yeah, I don't know a whole ton about its therapeutic uses.
You get
actual therapeutic
yeah,
uses.
they, like, it's an infusion that they put directly into your veins, I believe, but I've never done it.
I think you could make the argument that I've been using ketamine medically for quite a while now, therapeutically as well.
It sure does do its job of tranquilizing.
So,
but
to get to the point here, you and I had sex on K recently. It was the first time that you had ever had sex on ketamine, and it was weird for you.
I thought it was fun. I mean, I really wanted to try it, but I think it didn't go exactly as I would expect because, well, I really like, and I'm more used to having sex while high on weed, which I know you say weed doesn't really do anything sexually for you, but for me it does. It makes me really, like, it, lowers my inhibitions, and, like, it does make me kind of horny. But with ketamine, it didn't really, like, I didn't really feel hornier than I already was. I did feel more pliable, I guess you could say, to, like, try things, but I couldn't really feel sensation in my genitals, which I thought was very curious. And since that is kind of the main focus of sex, I was like, why isn't it working?
Why isn't it working to your own
yeah,
pussy?
like somebody turned the pussy off.
Somebody turned the pussy off.
But it did also turn my ass off so that, like, I could try stuff with that, which I hadn't really tried before, and I thought it was, like, nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's interesting perspective, because I mean, I love having sex on K, and, like, it makes my arms numb, but it doesn't make anything else numb. Like, I have a spectacular time having sex on K, honestly.
It felt pretty difficult to maneuver around. Like, I felt like I was flopping around like a fish.
Yeah, and that's true. It definitely affects, like, your coordination and stuff, but it just normally comes with that euphoria of, like, I don't need the conventional precision of sex, because the heat of our bodies and the touch of skin points, even, it doesn't have to be the particular focal points of sex. Like, everything is so heightened, everything is so potent and so erotic when you're that high, that even if you're just flopping around on each other, it's a wonderful experience.
What you just described is what I really like about poppers on sex.
Amen.
Is just
Amen.
like, you don't even really have to do anything when you hit the poppers. You literally just like rub on each other, and it feels really good.
Yeah, it feels great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, they're like functional and they like help with bottoming a lot. But it also just like, I don't know, I love taking a absolutely Herculean hit of poppers and
I always
then
get
just
scared.
like feeling somebody just like rub up against me. Like the human contact that follows is so fucking blissful.
You take such frightening hits of poppers.
What do you mean frightening?
Like,
it's fun. Like,
you'll
what?
inhale for like 30 seconds straight.
I love the head rush, and I love for it to be as disorienting as possible and last for as long as possible, because it's just like, especially in a situation where I'm with someone who is dominant. I mean, in that sense, it is just like the longer the hit, the less control I have over myself for the next 2 minutes, and it's like, you just take it out from me.
I do agree that's really hot and cool, but when I hit the poppers, this is just a PSA because Lav doesn't see it, but I see the ring, and I want to know if anybody else sees the ring. Because, so, okay, when I hit
Explain
the poppers, you know when you close your eyes and maybe even sober, if you close your eyes really hard, you see colors, like amorphous blobs of color with your eyes closed. When I hit the poppers, I see a ring of color in the middle of my eyesight. With eyes open or closed, it's like a burning ring in the middle of my vision. And it makes me a little worried because it's like a common myth, maybe, that poppers can deteriorate your eyesight if you do it a lot. So, because I see this ring and I don't know anyone else who sees this ring, it makes me kind of nervous.
I will say I've never heard anyone else, like, you talk about the ring.
I see it every time.
Yeah, like it's like as consistently as my arms go numb on K. I don't think poppers are killing your vision. I also think you have anxiety that they're making you stupider.
That's because all my friends tell me that.
I mean, in a sense, consuming almost any substance of any kind is doing damage to your overall potency.
Yeah.
However, it is extremely negligible quantitatively.
I mean, yeah, it's like how even smoking anything is bad for your lungs.
Yeah.
Like, smoking weed is bad for you.
Yeah. I mean, everything is a little bit bad for you.
Fucked up.
You told me once, and it really, really made me laugh. You and I and a lot of our friends do the New York Times mini crossword puzzle every day and compare our times.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me once that you felt more confident that you could hit the poppers and not get stupid because I've been hitting them constantly for years, and I'm still always one of the fastest at the New York Times crossword puzzle.
Like, I think that's true for you, but then I get worried, like, it's not true for me because bad things don't happen to you. More bad things happen to me than happen to you.
Way more.
But how often I get sick compared to you?
You have no immune system.
Why do you have all the immune system?
I don't know. I've been sick in a long, long time. But that's not important.
Yeah.
I think, my mentality is fuck it, we ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm having sex with someone, there's no chance I'm turning down a line of K or a hit of the poppers under any circumstances, because to me, it's only going to heighten the experience. And I don't really have a whole ton with a pretty extensive, history of experiences with both. I can't really think of a moment where it's made things worse. Nothing real bad has ever happened. So long as you test your drugs and so long as you don't drink and do K, which I do all the time, but it's because I'm invincible and bad things don't happen to me, and you really shouldn't drink and do K under any circumstances.
Yeah, and you should just be careful who you do it with, that you trust them.
Yeah, that's true. It can put you in a little bit of a vulnerable position sometimes if you get really, really high.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is kind of just going back to when I did K and had sex, and I was like, oh, like, it's not really doing that much for me. One thing that I will say it did for me was, like, there's this author I read, her name is Mackenzie Wark, and she wrote this book called Raving that is a lot of, like, theory writing, but she mostly talks about trans culture at raves and how drugs like ketamine are really prevalent in that community, and she theorizes that trans people love ketamine so much because it allows them to dissociate from their body and from their dysphoria. I think that was definitely true for me with doing ketamine. Even, I mean, if I'm at an event, I feel free from my body in that way. Mm-hmm. And while having sex, I feel like my body could be anything or have any part that I wanted it to. Like, even though I didn't see it visually, I kept kind of imagining or visualizing that I had a penis instead while I was with you, and like it was far more of a turn on to have that vision of myself and not feel self-conscious about my body while on K. And like it was kind of funny too, because like I think I was trying to have you blow me, but it didn't work in the physical realm because I didn't actually have those parts. I was just envisioning it.
I mean, it's like sucking the strap, though.
Yeah, but I didn't have the strap, so it was kind of just like invisible.
I feel like you were just, before you said that last part, you were hitting on something kind of beautiful about, you know, like people use words like dissociative and dissociation in a negative context a lot,
mm-hmm.
but particularly for trans people, and in this instance, it's like, yeah, that's a really that's a very meditative and very positive kind of dissociation.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you said, it also made me want you to suck my dick I don't have.
Yeah, and I think that's really beautiful.
It is kind of, honestly. Like, I feel like you tapped into something really sweet.
It's funny you say that because the author that I was talking about, Mackenzie Wark, says exactly that in her book as well, that dissociation is usually a negative thing, but for trans people, it's almost like therapeutic. And she tries to coin a term like reassociation or something mm-hmm. like that for, you know, using dissociation as a sort of positive coping tool for getting in tune with the body that you envision yourself to have.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's accurate, even as someone who doesn't really experience dysphoria like that anymore. It's great. I still crave and love that feeling of dissociation.
I do too. It's nice. It's nice not to think things and feel your physical form.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you want to say about K and your experiences with K, or anything else you think we should talk about?
What was your first experience with K, if you can remember it?
Yeah, my first experience with K, I'm not going to say the name of the place, but you know the place I'm talking about. It's in Atlanta. I snuck into a club. This was freshman year of college, maybe sophomore year of college. I was just some people I knew were going out to like a moderately popular gay and trans club in Atlanta. I tagged along with them. I had my fake. I think we had smoked beforehand. I was pretty experienced with weed and coke already at this point, from high school and from like my first year of college and stuff. And it was like, I think I had a drink or two. Like I was a little crossfaded, and it had gone on for like, it was really late in the night or something. It was probably like midnight, maybe even later than that. And for the first time, like, I don't even think I'd heard the word ketamine before. Like, I certainly didn't know what it was. Just one of the people that I was with was like, hey, we've got K if you want any. And I was like, yeah. What is that, by the way? Which is kind of what I always do. And they gave me a bump. That was the first time I, like, took a bump of anything. Because, like, I was never doing bumps of coke at school. It was we was cutting lines, and yeah, so I was like, I took a bump of K, and it did get me very high. Like there's definitely something to saying that your body isn't used to it the first time, but I had a blast. I mean, it was a wonderful, I was just out with friends, dancing, and it was the end of the night, so like it wasn't super crowded anymore, and we were just kind of like at a dark area, and I was just lucid and dancing and not really thinking or caring about anything else, and like being very much in the moment about it. It was a pretty wonderful experience, and I'm glad because it set me on the path of having done quite a bit since then, and really enjoying it almost every time.
Yeah, you're like a ketamine guru of sorts.
I don't know about that. The reason I'm not comfortable being called a ketamine guru is because I don't, like, physiologically and scientifically, I know nothing about ketamine or the effects it's supposed to have on you or how it's supposed to be combined with other substances. I very much, like, apply a fuck it, we ball approach to taking drugs. Like, I know there's, like, ways to be as safe as possible, and people can, like, micromanage their drug intake to an extreme extent to try and maximize the sensation that they're seeking out. But I'm really just like, I'll take whatever feels right, and like whatever everybody else is doing. I'm just very passy princess to doing drugs in my life.
Can I ask a personal question?
Of course.
Would you do an even harder drug if it was offered, like meth or like heroin?
Probably not. Not without some pretty serious priming. Because the reason I do drugs is to have fun experiences. It's kind of like why I don't really like weed and mushrooms the way that some other people do. Because, like, I get bored.
Yeah.
Like, when I want drugs, I want to do something. Like, I want to fuck or I want to dance. That's why I like party drugs so much.
I mean...
And I just don't think... I think I would be lethargic doing heroin.
I've heard
and
meth,
I don't want
meth
that.
is like a fucking drug,
That's what
though.
I was going to say, actually. I mean, there's people on Grindr all the time who are looking to do meth and fuck. And I have a girlfriend... I don't know if she listens to the podcast or not, who may have once gotten kind of drunk and tried to convince our polycule to do meth and fuck, which obviously no one was going to do with her. But probably not. Not to try and draw a line over what is and isn't a hard enough drug for me to do. I'm all about the results, But if the situation was like perfectly aligned, where I thought that I could have a transcendent magical experience just via taking a substance that was a little bit harder than what I had taken before, I'd be down to do it.
You did hit those vintage poppers without question.
Oh, wow, I forgot that you've heard that story.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to hear this too. part of the reason that this girl who gave me vintage poppers and I took them immediately and my throat burned. It was intense, definitely terrible for me. Those poppers, I probably did see rings. That was insane. That was just like, I don't even know what that substance was, but fucking Christ. The reason I did it is the nature of the relationship that I have with that girl is very, like, very snuffy, very kidnappy. You know, like, she's just a pure sadist.
You're
top.
so sick. You want something bad to happen to you so
If she would have
much.
said, she said, these are vintage poppers, hit them. If she had said, this is chloroform, smell this, I would have done it. Like, this is just via the nature of our relationship. Because I would have been like, whatever she's going to do with me while I'm passed out is going to be hot. Wow, I regretted saying that the moment the words came out of my mouth. Okay, wrap it up on K. Anything else?
I think that's all we got to say about drugs.
For now, I think that's our conclusive look into the horsey drug that has taken the doll world by storm. I really only have one other story. What time? We've been recording for about 45 minutes. You want to run through the other story and wrap it up?
What was it again?
The other story is, let me preface this by saying this was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was flirting with this girl. We were like sexting. She's local to where I live, so I was like talking about, you know, what we're gonna do when we hang out. And she hit me with the like, yeah, I'm a pretty subby bottom. I hit her with the like, yeah, you know, I'm also a pretty subby bottom. But because I've been in that situation literally dozens of times in my entire life, I'm like, don't you worry. Like, I still know exactly how we can have fun, exactly what we can do. And then it dawned on me that I don't have easy access to a Hitachi anymore, to a magic wand massager, which I used to be able to. I've never I haven't owned one, but there's always been, it's always been easy to get my hands on one in my last couple of living situations. So I was like, well, damn, I moved out to California. I have been checking boxes. Time to check getting a Hitachi. I'm going to use the phrase Hitachi. I think that's a brand.
Yeah, you're looking for magic wands.
Yeah, but interchangeable. I'm going to call it my Hitachi the whole time. I didn't feel like it would be responsible to buy one because they're kind of expensive. And there were other things at the time, other events and trips and stuff that I was like saving money for and like planning on spending it. And I was like, because this is a sex thing, I can crowdfund it via my Instagram followers. And all I'll have to do is just send them videos of me using it. Easy peasy, win-win. I get a Hitachi, they get videos of me using the Hitachi. And that worked better than I ever anticipated. I thought that people would chip in small amounts and that maybe I could get like half of it paid for by my Instagram followers. And I made the first post about it, and like 2 people basically paid for half of it right away. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I decided to make another post about it the next day, and that got it fully funded. I had enough money to go ahead and grab my purple Love Honey plug-in magic wand.
Yeah.
And pull the trigger on ordering that, which was really nice, and I was really excited to get it. We were away for the weekend on a trip, and it arrived while we were gone. I was really excited. I was like, when we get home, I have a brand new fucking Hitachi that I can finally fucking use. The Hitachi they sent me does not work.
Yeah.
When I unwrapped it, there was something rattling inside of it. Not normal. And then when I plugged it in and tried to start using it, it wasn't functioning properly. Like, the motor was running, but the like massager part at the tip was not like vibrating correctly in the way that it's supposed to. And then the more we tried, the more scary the sound that it was making started to be. And then after you left to go to sleep, I tried again later, and it hit me with the I'm about to catch on fire smell.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm done with this thing for now. It's time to shoot out an email and tell them that I'm scared that my Hitachi is going to catch on fire, which I did. And they graciously offered to send me a new one, and we're currently waiting on the new one now. So for the 6 people who donated to the Hitachi fund, your videos are still coming. I think it's going to get here sometime. Let's see, this podcast will drop on Saturday. It's going to hear sometime in the next 3 days from when this podcast drops.
Yeah. I mean, you got some other toys that are still very cute and functional.
Yeah, I did. As part of that Love Honey order, because there was just always stuff that I like to get. I got a cute little pink butt plug, a little flowery end to it. For a long time, long time, I have been using kind of the generic butt plug,
the jewel.
The jewel, yeah. My pink jewel plug that I've had since I was fucking 16 or something. So it was long overdue for a butt plug upgrade, and I really like the new one. And then another glass toy with a cute little moon on the end of it, and glowing little glitter bits inside of the glass. Really cute. And it glows in the dark. And when they say it glows in the dark, they're not fucking around. That shit glows in the dark. It looks like the fucking North Star.
You could see it through you even.
Is that true?
That's a joke.
Wow, you totally got me with that. I was like, you could see it through
really?
me? My jaw dropped when you said that.
That would be so really funny. Cool, but I think that would be toxic to your body.
Yeah, there are things that I've seen people use only once in real life, but a girl that I used to hook up with semi-regularly who was a moderately well-known sexual professional and trans girl Twitter had a toy that had a red light inside of it. And so when she would turn the lights off and her room was just neon lights, gamer girl lights and stuff, and would fuck herself with it, you could see the glow and see kind of loosely how deep it was.
Whoa, really?
Her. Yeah, it was cool. It came.
Can you send me a video or?
Yeah, I don't. This was a couple of years ago, so I would have to go digging through to see.
Or if you got the cat laser pointers.
Yes.
That's all.
That's awesome. Anything else while we're here?
I was just gonna say, in addition to your Hitachi not working, it was the same night that we tried, I tried ketamine and had sex for the first time, and I just thought that, I think that's why I thought my genitals were numb, is because I was this Hitachi is turned up all the way and I don't feel it, so that just means that my pussy doesn't work.
I mean, other things were done to your pussy that night. Did you feel them?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So maybe my vision or maybe my genitals do work. Maybe my pussy works.
Maybe my genitals do work. I mean, we both put on hormones for long enough that neither of our genitals really work the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Infertility gang.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all, right? A successful, finally, episode 3 of Brain Frot.
Yeah, a solid 51 minutes.
And stay tuned. Tell your friends. Make this podcast insanely popular if you want to hear the terrible ketamine episode we recorded. Because eventually we'll start a Patreon, and that'll be the first thing we put on it.
Do you think we should add a disclaimer that we do not endorse drugs?
I do endorse drugs.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I, for legal purposes, do not endorse illegal activities.
Sounds good. Bro, your Siri just caught that in 4K.
My Google Home is recording us recording the podcast and heard me say that I condone drug use.
Or you do not condone drug use.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, before... my Google Home was so needy right now. That's it. That's all we got. I guess the cops are going to come bust down our door because Google is going to have reported us as ketamine trannies to LAPD. So
it was nice knowing you guys.
Yeah, it was great knowing you guys. I'll see you on Court TV. And sorry there won't be an episode 4 because we'll be dead or in jail.
Bye.
Bye.